The morning of December 7, 1941, began like any other in Honolulu, Hawaii. The sky was painted gold by the rising sun, and the waters of Pearl Harbor shimmered quietly. American sailors moved across the decks of their ships, unaware that history was about to change forever. On the USS Arizona, seaman Daniel Brooks stood by the rail, breathing in the salty air. At just 19, he had left behind his family in Kansas, promising his mother he would return soon. He wrote letters almost every week, describing palm trees, ocean breezes, and the pride he felt serving his country. That morning, he had planned to write another letter after breakfast. But at 7:55 a.m., the sky above Pearl Harbor roared with the sound of engines. Japanese warplanes appeared suddenly, black silhouettes against the sun. Bombs whistled through the air before exploding into fire. The harbor, once calm, erupted in chaos. Daniel looked up in shock as the first wave of bombs struck nearby ships. The USS Oklahoma rolled onto its side, sailors trapped inside. Columns of black smoke rose high into the sky, blotting out the sun. Alarms screamed, and men ran across the deck shouting orders, "Battle stations! Battle stations!" Daniel grabbed his post, but the world around him was already fire and steel. Japanese torpedo planes streaked low over the water, dropping death into the harbor. Machine gun fire rattled across the decks. Men shouted, cried, and prayed all at once. A massive explosion shook the USS Arizona. A bomb pierced the forward deck and detonated in the ammunition magazine. The blast was so powerful that it ripped the ship apart, fire engulfing everything. Daniel was thrown to the ground, ears ringing, chest burning from the shockwave. Through smoke and flames, he crawled toward a group of trapped sailors. Their cries cut through the chaos. Daniel pulled one man free, then another, dragging them across the burning deck. His hands blistered, his uniform torn, but he refused to stop. At that moment, he remembered his mother's words before he left home. "Be brave, Danny. Not just with guns, but with your heart." A second explosion shook the ship, and Daniel knew he wouldn't survive. He shoved the last wounded sailor toward safety, then collapsed, clutching the small photograph of his family he kept in his pocket. With his last breath, he whispered, "I'm coming home." By the end of that day, over 2,400 Americans were killed at Pearl Harbor. The USS Arizona became a tomb for more than 1,100 sailors, Daniel among them. The attack stunned the nation and changed the course of history, drawing the United States into World War II. A week later, Daniel's mother received a telegram. She opened it with trembling hands, tears streaming down her face as she read the words, "We regret to inform you." She never saw her son again, but she kept his letters close, reading them over and over until the ink faded with time. Years later, she traveled to Hawaii, to the USS Arizona Memorial. Standing over the sunken ship, she dropped Daniel's photograph into the water, watching as it floated for a moment before sinking into the depths. She whispered softly, "You kept your promise, Danny. You came home." Even now, the wreck of the Arizona rests beneath the waters of Pearl Harbor, oil still seeping to the surface like black tears. Tourists and veterans alike come to honor the fallen. And when the wind is quiet, it is said you can almost hear the echoes of that morning, the sirens, the explosions, and the voices of young men who never saw another dawn. The story of Pearl Harbor is not only about war. It is about sacrifice, courage, and the cost of freedom. The sailors who died that day remind us that history is not written only in books, but in blood, love, and the memories left behind.